what I'm going to talk about today, and that's knowing your tools. And the reason I wanted to talk about knowing your tools is because one of the things I see the common anglers are doing is they just pick up a lure and they go out and fish it, and they fish it for about 5 minutes and they don't catch anything, and then they might pick up one more lure that they're not familiar with, and they fish it, and then they're just going to go back to that same lure that they always fish, and you know what it does is it narrows their options and the ability that they have to catch fish. So you need to know a bunch of different tools. You need to get to know them. And so what I'm going to do is try to kind of explain a couple different baits in depth in why I designed both of these baits, kind of why I designed them the way I did, and then try to help you understand that if you pick a bait that's a known good bait and you learn it inside and out, you're going to be a lot better fisherman. So like, you know, each season maybe you pick a couple baits, and then the next year you pick a couple more baits to add to your arsenal, and before long you're going to have 10, 12, 15 baits that you know very well. You know when they're supposed to work, you know when they're not supposed to work, and you're very comfortable switching from one to the next, and then you become a lot better angler. But it doesn't happen quickly. It just takes time. And so that's why you kind of want to pick just maybe one or two baits, learn them, you know, kind of each season. And that's why Jonathan's been fishing since he was a little kid, and I guarantee he's done that all along the way, and he's got quite an arsenal. And I've been fishing competitively for over 14 years, and you know, each year I learn 2, 3, 4 techniques just because I'm able to be on the water a fair amount of time, and so I can learn these techniques. The one thing I was going to talk a little bit more in depth about is how to use that bait as a shaky head alternative. And using it as a shaky head alternative is something that, you know, like I told you before, I use it on a 1/4 ounce Warlock head almost all the time. And what I do is I'll get that bait to where the hook, I almost skin hook it back through the ribs there. And initially, I started fishing it on 8-pound test, just like you would a normal shaky head. And if you couldn't tell from my 6-pound line smallmouth story, I don't like when it takes 15 minutes to reel a fish in a tournament. So I started throwing it on 12-pound fluorocarbon on a bait caster with the same 1/4 ounce. You know, so I started throwing it on that, and what I found is that I don't know that there's a huge difference in the number of bites that you get, but I know that when you get a bite, you want to reel down, kind of for the same reason of the punching. You reel down until it gets tight, and then you just kind of sweep them, and just keep constant pressure on them, and you'll hook and land almost every single one of them. You know, just because it's on a shaky head, and you're thinking jig, it's not a jig hook set like a football head jig. Where you can, with the football head jig, when you cast it way out there, you can almost set the hook any way you want to, and you're going to land those fish. But with this bait, you do need to reel it down, and I think sweep it a little bit more than some other baits. And I put it on there, it comes through chunk rock way better. I don't know, who's ever broke off a shaky head in chunk rock? I think I've broke off about 1 million of them. I've poisoned hundreds of loons, I think, if they even eat this. I don't know why they would eat them. But anyway, the chunk rock is terrible about shaky heads, and I think the reason for that is because the bait that most everybody fishes on a shaky head's skinny, like a pin. And this is a little exaggerated. And so what happens is I think that skinny worm shoots right down in the smallest little cracks. If you got a little teeny crack in a skinny worm, it goes right down in that hole. And next thing you know, you're up there going, and then you break it off and you have to tie another one on. Well, this bait, being that it's a little bit thicker, what I found is you can get it through some gnarly rock that you can't get a regular straight worm through. You can get this little bait through there pretty easy, because I think that wider body helps keep it from kind of burying down in those cracks, and the bait sinks a little bit slower, so it just comes through that stuff a little bit better. And then there's something about that shape that they really like on the shaky head. And as you can see, I found this picture of somebody. I didn't do this. Somebody else had done this. they had a baby D-bomb next to a crawdad, and you can see they're the same length, they're kind of the same shape. So I think you could see how that you could fool a bass on a shaky head or a jig head of thinking this is a crawfish by the shape and the profile and the action.
I hope you enjoyed the preview clip, and for more like that and the entire collection, subscribe to the Bass University TV. And if you want the tackle that you see on there, I want you to go to the Bass University Tackle Shop, powered by Tackle Warehouse, and click right here, and it's all at your fingertips.
You want to become a better angler?
You want to catch more and bigger bass at your local pond?
Then check out Bass University TV for hardcore bass fishing information.
Hey, I'm Pete Gluzek.
And I'm Mike Iaconelli.
And this is Bass University TV.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Gluzek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests.
Everywhere I go in the country, I'm trying to use these techniques because I catch big fish that way.
From on the water to in the classroom,
We want to use that bait to help make that area even smaller and really find that sweet spot.
you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills.
You want something that's got a nice limber action, that's going to allow you to build pressure and keep those hooks pinned against that fish's mouth.
Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time.
Hold on, because you're going to catch some big fish.
Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best.
That's a key theory in all of fishing.
Subscribe to Bass University TV today.
Man, does it trigger a lot of strikes.
Here's the part that you're not going to hear anywhere else. This is the Bass University TV exclusive.